So they're going to start melting down, and we're going to have a Chernobyl in every city along the river.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so not to mention, you've got the shaking of the earth that's going to happen. That's going to break these. Okay, Scott, just probably a few weeks ago, that pipeline. You remember hearing about that gas pipeline that broke down in Alabama?
Oh, yes, I most certainly did.
Okay. Well, it was supposed to affect Alabama, Tennessee, and most of the southern East Coast. And I live here in Nashville, and they were telling people on the news, look, don't freak out. Don't run to the gas stations and fill everything up that you have, because it's not that type of drought of gas. It's just we're kind of limited on our gas. Just fill up what you need to. We're still going to be able to deliver the gas. But see, something that small, something that minute, people didn't even listen. Man, they came out and brought their boats, their yachts, their weed eaters, their lawnmowers.
Yeah.
And I mean, they brought gas cans. They filled up, and gas stations were out of gas. People were lined up. And man, that we weren't even in a gas shortage. That was just you need to kind of conserve your gas consumption is all we're asking. But people went nuts. So, I mean, if we have the ground shifting and the earth twisting and turning and gas lines breaking open and gas blowing up out of the ground, raw oil blowing up through the ground, it's going to pollute our waters, pollute our soil. And like you said, the shaking, the breaking of the bridges where you can't even get across a river anymore. And these are the little things that we're not even thinking about that's going to happen when this comes, right?
You're absolutely 100% correct. Our modernization is, I hate to use this term, but it's going to be the death of you, because people are entirely too modernized. Just think of the amount of people that you could cast out into the woods or the forest. And do you think they could live for a week on their own? Some people don't even know how to use a compass. So just think of all these modern people all over the world. They're going to be cast into the days of Mad Max and the Thunderdome. I mean, you're going to have massive amounts of crime, and that's going to be another issue that wasn't there in the Bible. We have so many things that are going to be different than from the biblical days into these modern days during this passage. And this time around is the absolute cleansing of this earth. That is what I truly believe. This is the dissension. This is the cleansing of the earth. And that is exactly what it will be.
Mm-hmm. I truly believe that. And I truly believe that these governments are getting everything in line and are expecting that very, very thing. Because, I mean, if amateur astrologers and astronomers, amateur scientists, people like yourself, me, other people are able to look at data with like the limited amounts that we can with telescopes or whatnot, people like Gil Buzard coming out with their findings and all that, we know that the truly rooted, educated scientists that are in NASA and other places in other countries are well aware of what's going on. They're just not letting it out. But
exactly, they're under federal disclosures, non-disclosures.
Right. So we can see it. We can see it forming if we just kind of step back and look at the bird's eye view. It's all what we're told in Scripture is when it talks about all these things: wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, earthquakes, and all that. The very first thing we're told to do is be not deceived. Do not be deceived, for you will hear of wars, rumors of wars, blah, 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 blah. So our first commandment is not to be deceived. And I like the analogy because I talked to you last time about my friend Sherry, and she was talking about, she's the one that turned me on to the Delphi effect that I was wanting to talk to you about, how we're being shown one thing when really something else is happening, like a card trick. I gave the analogy last time. A card trick. They're forcing what card they want on us. It's just we think that we're able to make our own decisions and do whatever. And what we're trying to get to is the root of what is this card being forced upon us, right?
I'm sorry, you cut out. You cut out for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, with the card trick analogy, we're trying to figure out what card is being forced on us, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and it just makes it interesting. Okay, so. Last time I had you on the program, you were talking about how come the spring and summer, it's going to get really intense. What type of intensity is going to happen, and what do we need to be looking for?
As far as intensity goes, the closer this Exodus becomes, we are definitely going to see a massive increase in earthquake activity. Now, so far this year, I haven't looked for today, but the last time that we spoke, we were well over 42,000 earthquakes up to date for 2016. With all of the activity, with all of the activity that's gone on since I spoke with you last, plus with what happened on the west coast of the United States with all of the earthquake activity, will probably be 50,000. And then, you have these debunkers. And I just want to add this in there because this is very, very important. You have these debunkers that say, oh, we have earthquakes all the time. That's nothing new. Man, give me a break. That's nothing new. Since when is 50,000 earthquakes on this globe nothing new in a 9 to 10 month period?
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. You're crazy. I mean, that really makes me mad. And I've had a few debunkers come after me over the last couple of days. One from the United States and one from New Zealand. And they were trying to debunk one of my videos. And this is what they do. And they were so-called amateur astronomers. And here's the problem with amateur astronomers. If they're very, very educated and scientific, they rely strictly on data. And I mean numbers. If their numbers and their mathematics and their spreadsheets and their computerized models don't add up, they don't believe it. Well, guess what? Your beliefs and your mathematics and your models are going to get you killed. If this goes down, your education, your training in mathematics is not going to save your life. Your little telescope that you have peering up into space is not going to save your life. Being prepared. And like I always say, knowledge is power. And right now, the knowledge of mathematics is not going to save your life. What we're talking about here today, listening to your show, could possibly save your life. Because you're not going to look back on a math class that you had in college, and that's not going to save your life. But listening to your show and listening to me, something may strike a chord in this emergency situation, and that will save your life. And these debunkers are coming out hot and heavy over the last 45 days. I am documenting it because they are crushing my YouTube channel. They literally have assigned people in the comment sections of my videos that are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, spewing their putrid hatred and disinformation. If you don't believe me, go to my YouTube channel, go to one of my videos, start watching the video, move down to the comment section, and spend 2 or 3 hours in that one comment section. Pay attention to the names that they use. They're fake names, no pictures, and they sit.
Power plants cooled down, so they're going to start melting down, and we're going to have a Chernobyl in every city along the river.
Exactly.
And so, not to mention, you've got the shaking of the earth that's going to happen. That's going to break these. Okay, Scott, just probably a few weeks ago, that pipeline. You remember hearing about that gas pipeline that broke down in Alabama?
Oh, yes, I most certainly did.
Okay. Well, it was supposed to affect Alabama, Tennessee, and most of the southern East Coast. And I live here in Nashville, and they were telling people on the news, look, don't freak out. Don't run to the gas stations and fill everything up that you have, because it's not that type of drought of gas. It's just we're kind of limited on our gas. Just fill up what you need to. We're still going to be able to deliver the gas. But see, something that small, something that minute, people didn't even listen. Man, they came out and brought their boats, their yachts, their weed eaters, their lawnmowers. Yeah. And I mean, they brought gas cans. They filled up, and gas stations were out of gas. People were lined up. And man, that we weren't even in a gas shortage. That was just